Chapter 9. Echoes of the Abyss. A week had passed since the last of the unsettling visions had plagued New Dawn, and the colony was still grappling with the unknown. Elias Chen, having taken on the role of leading the exploration teams, had spent days combing through the areas where the hallucinations were most potent. Yet each day ended with more questions than answers. The routine was grueling, the landscape of New Dawn both beautiful and foreboding, with its violet skies and the silent, towering mountains that seemed to watch over them. However, the team's latest directive came from the Pioneer's Dream in orbit, which had detected unusual energy fluctuations approximately 300 kilometers from the main base. Elias, along with Mira Chen, Luna Martinez, Adrian Locke, and a small security detail including James O'Donnell, prepared for an expedition that would take them deeper into the mysteries of their new home. They loaded into the rover, a rugged vehicle designed for the harsh terrains of Proxima Centauri b, its wheels crunching the alien soil as they set off. The journey was long, and the landscape morphed from the relatively familiar plains around the colony to a more alien, almost surreal environment. The ground was littered with strange crystalline formations that shimmered with an inner light, casting eerie reflections on the rover's metallic surface. As they approached the coordinates, the energy readings on their instruments spiked, confirming they were on the right path. Their destination was a cave, its entrance partially hidden by a curtain of vines that glowed with a soft, bioluminescent hue. The team donned their gear, lights, and scanners, stepping into the darkness with a mix of anticipation and dread. Inside, the air was cool and damp, the cave walls adorned with what appeared at first to be natural patterns. But upon closer inspection, Adrian, with his keen scientific eye, identified these as alien script.
"This isn't just decoration, it's language, a record of some kind,"
he exclaimed, his voice echoing slightly in the cavernous space. James, with his camera, began documenting every symbol, every curve of the alien writing. The others followed, their lights dancing across the walls, capturing images and taking samples. The script was unlike anything human, flowing like water yet structured like the stars, suggesting a civilization with both art and science in its language. As they ventured deeper, the cave narrowed, the air growing heavier with each step. Suddenly, a sound, not quite a growl, not quite a screech, reverberated through the cave. The team halted, their instincts on high alert. Then, from the shadows, a creature emerged, a manifestation of nightmares. It was a grotesque amalgamation of limbs and eyes, its body covered in scales that seemed to shift and change color, reflecting the light in a way that made it appear as if it was part of the cave itself. Its eyes, numerous and glowing with an unnatural light, locked onto them, assessing, threatening. Without warning, it lunged. The team scattered, but not before it managed to swipe at one of the security personnel, Marco, tearing into his suit with a claw that seemed to be made of living shadows. He screamed, the sound amplifying the chaos as blood mixed with the dust on the cavern floor. Elias, with a calm that belied his fear, shouted commands.
"Fall back, form a defensive line."
He pulled out a shock baton, the only effective weapon they had against such an unknown adversary. Mira, quick on her feet, managed to drag Marco away from the creature's reach, applying a makeshift tourniquet from her belt. Adrian tried to analyze the creature, shouting over the pandemonium.
It's biomatter, but it's alive. It's thinking.
His voice was a mix of terror and fascination. Luna, using her agility, dodged another attack, managing to throw a tracking device onto the creature. It hissed, its many eyes narrowing as it tried to dislodge the device. The fight was chaotic, the creature relentless. Another colonist, Sarah, was knocked down, her arm broken as she tried to shield herself from a particularly violent swipe. The creature's movements were erratic, almost as if it was learning from each encounter, adapting. James, still filming, captured the horror, narrating under his breath.
This is our terror, our fear given form. We are not alone on New Dawn.
Seeing more shadows moving deeper in the cave, Elias made a tactical decision.
We're falling back. We can't fight this here, not with more of them coming.
The team agreed, the urgency of their situation palpable. They helped Sarah and Marco, who were both in severe pain but conscious, back towards the entrance. As they retreated, the creature did not pursue, perhaps content with having driven them away from its lair, or perhaps waiting for another, more opportune moment. The team emerged into the sunlight, relief mixed with dread as they realized this was just the beginning of understanding what lurked beneath New Dawn's surface. Back at the rover, first aid was administered. Marco's wound was deep, and Sarah's arm needed immediate attention. They contacted the base, requesting medical evacuation. As they waited for the shuttle, Elias looked back at the cave, his mind racing.
We need to understand this. It's not just about survival now. It's about knowing what we're living with.
His words were firm, his resolve clear. They had documented alien writing, encountered a nightmare made flesh, and now knew that New Dawn was not just a new world, but a new frontier of fear and discovery. The shuttle arrived, its engines roaring in the quiet of the alien landscape, taking the injured back to the colony. The others stayed behind to secure the rover and gather their thoughts, the weight of what they had seen settling in. They knew this was just one chapter in a much larger, more dangerous story. The expedition team would return to New Dawn's base with more questions than answers. But one thing was certain. They were not the only sentient beings on this planet, and the next steps they took could either lead to understanding or further into the abyss of fear and confrontation.